Hello everyone and welcome to a new week of Road to TCG Worlds 2016. No poll last week because I was feeling really sick. I still am feeling a bit sick, but I don't want to let the videos be interrupted because of that. So it completely slipped my mind to make the poll, so I decided to use this deck, which I've put Vespiquen up a lot in the polls and it's always gotten votes, but it never won. So I decided to use it. This list is courtesy of Jimmy O'Brien, so all credit goes to him. It's his exact list. And without further ado, let's review it very quickly, shall we? A 4-4 Vespiquen line. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. 90 HP, which is a bit low. But Intelligence Gathering, for 10 damage, you're able to replenish your hand, and against decks like Night March, it's not too bad. When you have the Muscle Band attached, you can KO a Joltik and make sure you have resources for the next turn available. And with V Revenge, you do 20 plus 10 more damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile. So this combined with Ariados for an extra 10 damage, Muscle Band, and a huge amount of Pokemon you play, 27 total, and the Bile Compressors, you can really be KOing absolutely every single Pokemon out there. So it's very important to manage your resources so that you can have a good follow-up after the first Vespiquen. You don't overextend too much, but having the flexibility to be able to one-hit KO anything in the format is obviously pretty amazing. Now, as support, we have the 2-2 Flareon line. Turning yourself into a fire Pokemon is very beneficial against a lot of Aegislash that's going around, and Flareon probably won't ever be attacking unless you're in a very desperate situation, especially because its energy cost is rather high when compared to the other Pokemon in the deck. But it turns your Vespiquen and your Zoroark into fire Pokemon, which allows you to also abuse the fact that you have Blacksmith and fire energies, so you can power up a Vespiquen out of the blue. Along with that, we have a 2-2 Zoroark line. Once again, it helps you by allowing you to sometimes retreat, but Mind Jack is a pretty powerful attacker, and if anything, its presence limits what your opponent can or wants to do. Now, a 1-1 Ariados line, that extra 10 damage might be important, and your Vespiquens don't get the poison because they are a grass Pokemon. And you could potentially discard the Ariados as well for extra damage, so it's really a win-win situation of running it. Finally, we have 4 known because they provide automatic discard and extra draw power. 1 Jirachi, because you never know when you'll need to buy yourself a turn or be able to break a Giratina lock. And finally, 4 Shaymin EX. There's no reason not to run 4. The extra ones you can simply get rid of. And this makes sure you won't be pricing any, and you have 4 Ultra Ball to get them out. Now onto the supporters, we have the standard for Sycamore. We're finally back to using for Sycamore. 2 Lysander, because it's probably the second most important supporter in the game right now. And for variety and to abuse with the fact that we have 4 Vespiquen and 4 Bile Compressor, we have 1 Teammates to ensure we can get those DCEs when we need them. 1 Hex Maniac to break any potential abilities that might be hurting us, such as Aegislashes, or prevent a turn of Crobat drops. Blacksmith in order to be able to power up our Pokemon quicker, and AZ to recover a Shaymin EX, prevent prizes, or potentially reuse some of our Pokemon. Aside from that, we have the standard 4 versus Seeker, of course, 4 Battle Compressor to be able to abuse Vespiquen and the supporter lines we're running, 4 Ultra Ball to discard more Pokemon and get what we need when we need it, 1 Level Ball. I wish I could fit more, but there's no drawback to playing it. Our main attacker can be searched out by it, so can Zorua, Eevees, and the Ariados line, and potentially Unknown as well, and Jirachi, so it's a pretty good play. And 2 Muscle Band in order to power up Vespiquen a bit more, and 1 Forest of Giant Plants. It's very important to have at least 1 Counter Stadium in the current format. You don't want to give completely free reign to your opponent, and if they see you get delayed in playing your stadium, they might actually overextend and discard some with the Sycamore, with their Sycamores or Ultra Balls. So it's not a terrible thing to have one, and it might be able to counter a key Skyfield or something in an important place in the match. And finally, in terms of energy, for DCE, mandatory, everything in the deck that hits for damage can attack for DCE, and 3 fire energy to be able to abuse the Blacksmith effectively. With that done and over with, let's get right into the 2 games of the day, shall we? Excuse me if I cough a little bit. Wow, there's a new ladder. That's pretty interesting. Excuse me if I cough a bit during the videos. I'll try my best to cover my mouth and make sure you listen to a list of that. But oh wow, I clicked I clicked on theme deck, didn't I? Sorry about that. Whoops, I was like, I'm not using water Pokemon. There we go, Vespiquen Flareon Zoroark. Let's find our first battle for what should be a very, very interesting week. I'm really looking forward to it. This is a deck I am considering for future city championships. By the time you see this video, I will have played 2 more city championships, but right now that I'm recording it, I haven't played them yet. So make sure to check out my Facebook page to see how I did over the weekend. Hopefully I got some championship points. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It's a very interesting metagame here in Mexico. Lots of Yveltal, lots of Night March, and lots of Manectric, and lots of Lucario. So I really don't know what to expect. Now my opponent took a really long time with the flip. Hopefully he doesn't play as slow as the flip. He's taking so long. Just look at the timer. It's already been 40 seconds in choosing heads or tails and deciding whether to go first or not. Now, we started with a pretty mediocre hand, honestly. A pretty mediocre hand. I'm gonna need to top deck out of this situation, like on the first turn. And we're going second, which definitely doesn't help our case. Maybe starting combi was a mistake. We'll be able to thin out our deck with Battle Compressor. But my opponent just attaches and passes. And we top deck the Versus Seeker. So that's something we really needed, I guess. Now let's see here. I'm definitely gonna get rid of a Sycamore. I definitely... See, the thing is what I have in my hand worth sacrificing? I think it is. So, we saw fighting. I really don't think we'll be needing Flareon in this matchup, but it's important to have it in order to be able to power up. Now, I'm gonna get rid of the Zoroarks because... okay, just the Zorua. But I don't think having Zoroark is important because he's using a fighting tech, so Zoroark will be very fragile. And as far as my last discard goes, I'm gonna get rid of one Shaman. Still plenty more in the deck, and the important thing is to get those Vespiquens out quickly. Excuse me. Gonna Sycamore right away. There's now a bunch of Pokemon in my discard pile. I do get an Eevee for a potential future Flareon Blacksmith combo. Now here, gonna get rid of the Ultra Ball and the teammates. Get another combi out, because those are going to be my most important cards. Ariados is gone, so I should probably discard Spinarak with the next compressor, because I have no way to get Pokemon back. So There's no point in having that. Now I got the stadium here, so I can potentially get a KO actually. Yeah. Okay, I can potentially get a KO and win on the first turn. That stadium is honestly pretty lucky. How many Pokemon? 1, 2, 3, 4. With these 3 Pokemon, I'm gonna get rid of 3 Pokemon for sure. Gonna get rid of Jirachi. Gonna get rid of Spinarak, like I said. And since I already have an Eevee down, I'm gonna get rid of the Eevee. What I probably need is I do have an Eevee. Yeah, I do have it. Okay, so 3 more Pokemon plus the 2 knowns. All I need is a DCE in order to take a KO. So hopefully I draw a Shaymin EX out of these 2 cards. First card isn't a Shaymin EX or the DCE we need. If not, then my opponent will have a turn to recover. Unfortunately, we didn't get the DCE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I don't think I'm too threatened by what my opponent has right now. Therefore, I'm just gonna pass the turn. I could have retreated for something safer in order to keep my Vespiquen, but yeah. Okay, so that was a pretty terrible game. A real waste of time. We get a few extra coins for our efforts. Ugh, this is so slow. And let's find another opponent, hopefully a more challenging one. Against that Grass Psychic colorless deck. So, what is that potentially? We go second again, which as you saw could have been beneficial last time around. But relying on the turn 1 Vespiquen is not something I can reliably do, you know? So, just gonna bench play Spinarak. No need to play Shaymin EX down, and it's actually probably Yveltal Crobat here. So, with that in mind, I definitely want Flareon here. Flareon is going to be very, very, very important. Very important. And it's too bad I drew Flareon in my starting hand. Everybody seems to be using Giovanni's now. Giovanni's scheme. Flips tails on the Super Scoop Up. Not gonna complain about that. And I guess this is regular Yveltal EX. Because he attached a muscle band, and wow, he gets a clean Sycamore. He attached a muscle band. That means he's probably not playing the Mega. He also has Skyfield. That's very interesting as a stadium choice for that deck. It does allow for room to have so many Crobats and Spinaraks and Shaymins and Yveltals down, but not completely convinced. And the way he's drawing cards, it looks more like a Night March deck or Vespiquen. And he hasn't even used Bowel Compressor. Wow. That's looking very nice. That's a very nice setup for my opponent. Too nice for my taste. Now here, the Ultra Ball is definitely going towards Eevee. I need that Eevee down, and hopefully with a second one. I couldn't afford to keep the Sycamore. I'd rather draw with Shaymin because I don't want to allow my opponent. I mean, my opponent just needs a Lysander and he'll be in an amazing position. So I don't know if attaching the TC is worth it, but I think I have to. Getting another Eevee down would be pretty important, along with another combi. there's the combi. The level ball gets me the other Eevee, which is great. This is definitely an ideal setup for us as well. But we don't have any Pokemon in the discard pile just yet. So this pile compressor is going to help us with that. Jirachi is going. Ariados, if it's in there, is definitely going as well. Yep. And what else? Another Shaman potentially. Yeah, I need Pokemon. But I also don't want to give him 3 potential targets to just Lysander and win. So that's an okay Shaman. I hope he takes a KO. If he does, we can take a return KO. There's 3 Pokemon plus the 20, that's 50. Times 2, 100. So we'll need 3 more Pokemon. I might be forced to discard one of these Vespiquen in order to try to guarantee, because that would leave us with a Pile Compressor or a Muscle Band in order to get the KO. Does play a Golbat, so he will probably get a double KO here, which is very unfortunate. He will get it. And we're in serious trouble right now. We are in serious trouble. Because we're lacking the energy. That's the biggest problem here. I mean, we can return the KO, but there's no guarantee we will get the DCE. And now we need more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus another Spinarak, that's 5 Pokemon, plus the 20, that's 140. So we just need 1 more Pokemon, and since we can't evolve both combis, that's perfectly fine. We will have enough Pokemon in order to KO after we get the Flareon benefit. So what we really need is a DCE. There's the Vespiquen, there's the Flareon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need a Muscle Band, a Compressor, and a DCE. We get the DCE, but we did not. Wow. We did not get a way to do damage. So we're gonna have to sacrifice another Pokemon. And if he has Lysander for Flareon, we're pretty screwed, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh. 6. That's 80 damage. 10 short of the KO. No Compressor despite us playing just 1 so far, and no... I guess I should have played... I forgot I had the teammates in my discard pile. Now the question is, what do I do here? Okay, he can't poison me, so he might not even be able to KO me. Wait, no. So he needs a Crobat for the KO. Gonna Intelligence Gathering to 20 damage, draw an extra card. That extra card was the Compressor. I mean, we had 4 known left still. We had Ultra Balls, we had Level Balls. Odds were so in our favor to get that KO. So hugely in our favor. Plays down a Crobat, so he has a KO on that Vespiquen. Now we're gonna need another Vespiquen. That's very unfortunate for us. Very unfortunate. There's the 80 damage from Unseen Claw. We're not out of it yet, but definitely going to be very hard. And now I wish we had Zorua down. Okay. I will versus Seeker for teammates. Should have done this last turn. I'm so bad. The teammates will get me the Zorua I want and the Vespiquen. That way we have the follow-up with Zoroark. We will need the DCE, but Zoroark is going to be able to take down absolutely anything my opponent has, and unless he has a Crobat, he might not even have the KO himself. Now with the compressor I will get rid. How many Versus Seekers are there left? None. Okay, 1. So odds of getting the Versus Seeker are exactly the same as getting the Blacksmith, so there's no need to get the Blacksmith. Get rid of the Hex Maniac, and I will get rid of the other Flareon. Now he might get a KO on Flareon. So Zorua is priced. Gonna get rid of the Zoroark. Now the Stadium, the Forest of Giant Plants. And I'm gonna V-Revenge for the KO. He is forced to have the Crobat in order to KO. If he does have it and he KOs, we still have a chance. By KOing the active, he won't have any more energy in play. So our next Zoroark might be able to finish off the game. And if he doesn't have the Crobat, then we're pretty golden. He Sycamores. He's going after the Crobat, of course. He's already discarded 1. He's used up the Super Rod. He might flip heads. He does flip heads. Every time. Every time. So we will need a DCE. Or top deck the Blacksmith. But I don't think we can count on that. We definitely need 100% to top deck to get a DC. There's 2 left in our 17 card deck, which will be able to thin out pretty big with the Unknown and the Sycamore. We will be out of Zoroark as an option, and because we top deck the Vespiquen, we won't be able to use Vespiquen either. That was probably one of the worst top decks possible we could have had. Incredible. Gonna Sycamore here. I have access to 7 more cards. At least we get the DCE. Wait. Oh, we do have another Zoroark. That's pretty great. And we are able to evolve another Flareon, guaranteeing we have the fire type. And now this is more than enough. Next turn we have a KO with Zoroark and DCE in case he was able to KO the Zoroark. He has no energy in play, no way to KO Shaman. Zoroark can stand in and make sure it moves in for the KO. We have Shaman and Unknown in order to get our last Verse Seeker for a potential Lysander. So I think unless he judges, and we got the Verse Seeker. So my opponent needs to judge, and we have so many resources in order to get out to reach either of the Versus Seekers. We also have the double stand-in in order to make sure not even sleep punishes us. So I'm pretty sure we have this game won. There's no way we lose this game. There is no way, absolutely no way we lose this game. He can't even ace trainer, so his only chance is to judge. And we will have 17 cards with the judge. But there's 2 Ultra Balls, there's 1 Shaman, there's 2 Vespiquen, and there's... I don't think we've used a single unknown. Yeah, so there's potentially 3 unknown as well. We're in an amazing position despite us drawing a bit bad in the beginning. There's really no issue here. He just passes. So I'm just gonna KO. Just gonna Vespiquen and KO the Shaman or the Yveltal. Gonna go for the Yveltal just to do a lot more damage. Mind Jack for the KO. And that's the game. Wow. That was a pretty good match. Pretty good match. Really showcases the deck's strength. I felt we were going to lose at some point in the beginning, especially when... Let's find another game. When he got the double Golbat drop to KO Combi. But we were able to bring it back, which I'm very glad we did. Very glad. Let's see what we can do in this next game. We're up against Night March Melodic, so this should be an interesting game. I do feel like we have the disadvantage here. I will go first so that I can evolve, but I definitely do feel I have the disadvantage here. Unless I can somehow play the Hex Maniac on turn 1. Gyarados is obviously not going to be very important. Basically, what it comes down to is, can I get a DCE every single turn to get a KO? And he misses a KO someplace. Or we each KO... Oh wow, this is so bad. Never mind. So this is not Night March. This might be Manectric Toad Bats then, which definitely makes things easier for us. Gonna Farewell Letter. Wow. I'm gonna get rid of the stadium anyways. The teammates and the stadium. There's no need for it right now. Let's see, there's 3 Vespiquens, so I have 1 in hand, 1 combi, 2 combis, 3 combis, so there's 1 combi priced. I don't think we'll be needing the Flareon line here at all, so I will definitely discard it. And I'm not gonna discard anything else. Perhaps the Hex Maniac to prevent Crobat drops. Yeah. And both Flareons, because I might need to stall a turn, so that's why I don't discard EVs. But we should be pretty okay with what we have right now. I honestly don't know if I should Sycamore away the Vespiquen. If it is indeed Toad Bats, I should be okay by doing it, but he might not even play the Crobat because he's in my Vespiquen. So we'll see. We will see. He plays down a Skyfield, and there's 2 unknowns on his side of the field. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, it's Raichu. So what's the... It is Melodic then, for sure. So it's kind of like Night March, I guess. No, not really. It does follow the same mechanic in terms of my DCEs versus his DCEs, but he does have the Crobat advantage, which means he can potentially get KOs for free And that could really complicate things. It really could complicate things. Huh. 3 Pikachus. He probably has the most ideal setup ever. And I got rid of the stadium, which he probably runs 4, so it's not relevant, but I also top deck a second Sycamore, which is not something you ever want to see. I wish I could have top deck a Fire Energy. That would have been amazing. But I don't even get the Fire Energy right now. So, do I think it's going to attack next turn? I only have 3 Pokemon in the discard pile. Zoroark will of course get KOs very easily, but I'm very worried about the exchange that's about to happen. And I have a Vespiquen and the other 2 Sycamores, which is obviously not great. Okay, what do I get rid of then? Do I have enough Fire Energies and the Blacksmith? There's the Blacksmith, there's 1 Fire Energy, there's 2 Fire Energies. Wow, and I got rid of the 2 Flareon, so that was definitely a mistake. A very big mistake. He does have a Shaman in play, so I will have to target that Shaman for sure. But I have no way to retreat next turn. I can't count on him KOing. Okay, I've already done the misplay of getting rid of the Flareons, so I'm gonna get rid of the Eevees as well. And I mean, I won't have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I might be 10 short of the KO next turn on Shaman. Just gonna pass the turn here. We're playing a bit scared, both of us. We both have to be very conservative with our resources, but he does have the Milotic advantage. And the one way I had to combat the Milotic was through Blacksmith and Fire Energies, but I got rid of my own Flareons and Eevees. Therefore, I definitely misplayed here. Goes for a Bridget. That's a pretty nice card for that deck. Gets 2 knowns, gets an extra 2 cards. It all comes down to resource management here. If my Vespiquen can take a KO on his Raichu, I need to top deck an Ultra Ball. That's the only thing that saves me here. That's really the only thing that saves me here. Wow, I top deck the Zoroark. So that's pretty huge. Gonna attach the Muscle Band to the Vespiquen, and I'm gonna Lysander the Shaman here, because 1 TCE making it count for 2 prizes is definitely what I need to compensate for my mess up of the Flareon discard. I'm still in a losing position, don't get me wrong, but it's either that or him whiffing a TCE somewhere. But with my Milotic, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Anytime soon. He only needs a Raichu to KO, and he has the potential KO on Crobat. He might go, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. His first 20 damage were definitely wasted on Vespiquen. He should have targeted Spinarak. Now, there's a chance he doesn't get a Raichu, but if it's just Sycamores right now, yeah. He's not playing. At least he got rid of a Crobat and an AZ. But there's only 1 Raichu in the discard, 1 Milotic as well. There's a level ball for the Raichu. So we are, oh wow, for the Golbat, yeah. So the Golbat drops compensate for the Shaman KO. I can't play a Shaman down and risk him Lysandering it up, because he will get a double KO right now. There's the Ultra Ball for the Raichu. He also has another TC down. So I need my extra combis in play. And it's still going to be really hard unless I can somehow Lysander Muscle Band KO the Feebas. That's the only way I'm getting back into this game, I believe. If he plays a 2-2 line, then I'm screwed. If he only plays a 1-1 line, then that's definitely a nice target for me. Now, I could also manually attach 2 Fire Energy, which is what I'm also going to try. Wow. That was the absolute worst top deck I could have gotten. The absolute worst. Oh gosh. My deck just doesn't cooperate with me. This is just incredible, guys. Incredible. Can I get the combi? Okay, I guess I can Lysander with Shaman and with a DCE. But that's not going to happen this turn. That Feebas might be my win condition here. He has no way to... I have enough Pokemon, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, perfect. Therefore, I don't need any more Bile Compressors. The teammates are already in the discard pile. So... Ultra Ball. Get rid of the Blacksmith, useless Blacksmith, and the Bile Compressor. What do I go for here? Zorua or Vespiquen? I think I have to guarantee the Vespiquen follow-up. But I would also like a Zorua. I think I'm gonna get the Zorua. And next turn... I can't... Can't teammates and Lysander in the same turn. Therefore, I need the Vespiquen here. I need the Vespiquen. I need the guaranteed Vespiquen. Okay. Be Revenge for the KO. He can't put 4 damage counters onto combi, which is great. This combi might be crucial because we have the Fire Energy, so I'm glad we got that out. I have to think really hard though. Really hard. We might also run him out of Pikachus. That could also be an option. Use this Versus Seeker. Gets an AC. So he's going to recycle the Crobat line. But that's perfectly fine by me. If he places 3 damage counters on combi, that's fine. He could potentially KO it, but then Vespiquen takes a KO. So as long as each Pokemon or one Pokemon gets 2 KOs, that's perfectly fine. We can trade a DCE for that. It's not ideal to lose the DCE, but really nothing we could do about that. What I can't afford is to bench a Shaman and leave it down on the same turn. It's only just 2 Verse Seekers, but no Lysander yet. He does have the Raichu now. Yeah, he takes the KO with Raichu. That's perfectly fine by me. Perfectly fine by me. If he had not evolved the Crobat, then I would have been in trouble because I would not have been able to bench the combi. This level ball top deck is also pretty amazing. Do I have a muscle band? No. So I can't KO Feebas here. Gonna evolve. I have the guaranteed KO. Now I definitely need a DC next turn, but I do have the teammates here. The other Zorua is here. There's also 2 more Vespiquens left. Okay. The question here is, do I teammates? Because he needs a Raichu and a DCE off of 3 cards. I don't think he can get that. So I'm gonna Vespiquen for teammates. Gonna use teammates for another Vespiquen and a DCE. Yeah. Another Vespiquen and wow. Okay, the fire energy then. We're in serious trouble because we have a DCE priced. We are in very, very serious trouble. We need to get the DCE, or we need him to whiff a KO next turn. On this Vespiquen at least. That's the only way we'll have a chance. Wow. Oof. I got the DCE. That's great. That is great. He's not going to bench a Shaman either. So we are doing well in the price trade-off. I wonder who he will target the 20 damage. Okay, perfect. If he attaches and KOs that combi, that's perfectly fine by me, because he won't get another KO otherwise, or he might. Uh-oh. Okay. What do I get here? The Vespiquen. I guarantee my Vespiquen for next turn. He has 1 card. He's getting Raichu, of course. What's his last card in his hand? Is it the DCE? Is it really that? Wow, this is a very interesting game. You can see how important resource management can be. If I had not discarded the Flareons, I definitely wouldn't be suffering so much. And it was the DCE. Wow. At least the Body Rescue guaranteed the Vespiquen. And I can actually pull off the Lysander into Shaman to conserve the DCE as well. But because I do have that fire energy, I don't have to do it. Do I want to? That's the question. No. I want to KO Raichu. And I can KO, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, more than enough. So, gonna bench this guy. He has no Raichu anymore, so even Shaman is safe. But just gonna attack. No need to waste any more resources. All I need is a DCE to win next turn. I don't think he has a way to KO Vespiquen. He at most has... I mean, he could KO with Crobat, yeah. But then Zoroark can KO anything on the bench. He bridges as his supporter. He cannot get Shaman, so unless his other card is Shaman, he's definitely not going to attack next turn. And how many DCs? 1, 2, 3? 3. He's running water energy, and yeah, that's the game. So wow, extremely close game, but we managed our resources well despite us making that mistake. That energy placement was huge. Making him whiff on an energy drop was huge, and we're off to a pretty great start for the week. Very nice deck. Once again, props to Jimmy O'Brien for the list. And yeah, don't forget to like the video, guys. I really appreciate the likes. I know you guys can do this. Try to get... I have never had a video with 50 likes. And I know that TCG videos, the ones on Mondays, get over 400 views. If only 1 out of 8 of you clicks the like button down below, That's 50 likes. Can we make it 50 likes? You would make me extremely happy as a Christmas present, or a holidays present rather. Okay, that's it for today, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow in Spanish or on Wednesday in English. Alright, bye bye.